tears of blood. Do our actions give the enemy permission to attack us? I'm spending money faster than I can obtain it, like falls of water. It just slips through my fingers. Can I skip the part where I broke your heart with my mistake? Surely I wasn't so callous that I didn't care in the slightest. I am not the brave guy capable of confrontations of this sort. Running out of moral support. Have I got any friends left in my corner? Anyone who would still cry if I kicked the bucket and died? Suddenly I see with a clear conscience, conscious of the fact that I have erred in judgment more times than I have fingers on which to count my sins. Let's call them what they are instead of dressing them up in pretty colors and painted dresses. Let's not pretend this problem I have is anything other than what it is. The battle I face against the enemy on a daily basis. The same struggle we all deal with. Yes, I have failed to resist the lure of the nemesis, drawing me into the caverns of his dragon-like teeth. A faint whisper I've been through this lurks still in me. A pure perfect light cutting through my darkened imagination. We are always the best at hiding our true feelings, comparing us, committing acts of hypocrisy. Look at us with all our endless self-justifications. We all try to rationalize our steps, comparing ourselves with those who are criminally insane, those who have gone off the deep end. What happened to our famous, fondest friends? Did we hide amongst the fronds, testing how they might respond to our gentle whispers? They say less is more, but what does that mean? If I end my day still a king without a queen, what use is my fiefdom? Then watch me howling at the moon and bending coffee spoons in my mind. I'm sick of this daily grind, stuck in a rut, is getting at my butt, cracking my head like a coconut just before you pour the milk out, spilling rivulets into your golden streets. But I don't know how to leave it behind, and I'm getting mashed up like meat sliced into in a vice. I didn't always take my own advice. I seldom learned how to tame my tongue, stop it climbing up the ladder rung of escalating tensions as it's set aflame by both the fires of hell and passions of heaven. You don't retreat, though the world may tread me under its feet. You can be discreet or blatantly obvious in your approach, getting my attention with the beauty of a bird song, wondering where it came from and why it exists. Just like us, they're praising you with their vocal cords. I applaud the cause of all who are fighting for your kingdom. Let me not be so plumb ignorant that I avoid your tone, calling me when I'm together with others or alone with only you to keep me company, wrapping me in your embrace, a maker of heaven. And if I long to seek your face, let me never disengage from you. Stay plugged in and connected to you, source of all truth. In contemplating your death, we are reminded of freedom, such a gruesome way to depart from this planet, but necessary for us all to walk among the resurrected chosen souls. You're the Savior of us all, Lord above, we worship you. Let us submit to your will. It's a tug of war, but I know in the end you win. Inspiration occurs organically. If I try to force it, then it never arrives. Let me rise up from this ashen heap, repenting in sackcloth for all my deeds, which bring shame to your face. If indeed I claim to represent it as the head of this body of which I'm a part, you can redeem my heart. You investigate my thoughts more thoroughly than anyone on earth. You are instigating change in me. I feel becoming depraved, feeling as if my head is about to cave like the walls of a sandcastle. My resolve is so weak. I'm scared to get involved in arguments, petrified of confrontation like tremulous twigs torn and twined by their own terrific response. To being disturbed by a cricket and echo of the woodland, starting a question within myself when I got like this. Settling for easy street when the hard road was much more satisfying. Self-denial, you are the key to epiphany. Through my trials, you have always been watching over me with eyes of love. Let me not manipulate situations to my advantage. Let me not try and use people just to see what I can get out of them. It's funny how we make assumptions based on where people come from about how much they have in their bank accounts or their ability to pay us money or help us out in our time of struggle and strife. Some of us jump to the wrong conclusion that our skin color precludes our capacity to assist others out the rubbish heap of the shamble active debacle of financial ruin and woe. And how tall will we let our debt towers get stacked before they tumble down upon us? How many pieces you had beneath your bonnet when someone asks me to commit to a task? I may put them off by enunciating that I'm on it, but I'm never being completely honest with them or myself. Ignorance is bliss until you wake up on the wrong side of the gates of hell. Somewhere along the way I abandoned my search for originality, sticking it in a too hard basket, straining my credulity. My reputation went from riches to rags. My street cred and my gangster swag was pretty much non-existent. A cartoon version of a ghetto prince. I was rinsed in the blood of Jesus. That's all that really matters. What kind of stupid city is safe from destruction only to repeat the same pattern of wickedness all over again? It's just a ballad and I call it a story of me and all my friends. We have been down these dark places plenty of times before. I'll soar off my limbs proud to our creation, considering it a blessing to have the opportunity to be used by the Almighty for high purposes and found in my own pockets. Why do I fret about what hasn't happened yet? How easily I forget your message being renewed every morning. I'm grateful exclusively to your goodness for that. When I haven't got anybody in my life to satisfy me in every way, shape, or form, I turn to you more for my comfort and hope. I am far from readily identified as your bride, so if this relationship with you was to suffer as a result of choosing someone to spend time with, is it inevitable that our connection will be weakened as a result? It isn't necessarily so, you know. So barbarous are my intentions. You are fastidious in your attention to detail and how you assemble this well with your breath and hands. Without the influence of your grace, it would be impossible to achieve the result of leaving you pleased as punch immediately after interacting with us. Your disciples, your loved ones, as learned as it's plausible to be. The cause of all that ever is ultimately throws itself back to your imperial celestial majesty. When you were in the Garden of Gethsemane, like grapes squeezed tight to produce wine, your eyes ran red rivers. Godless are like thorns, only good for incinerating, for they tear the hands that touch them. I feel like I need a change of scenery, but as soon as I change the scenery, I will want it back to what it used to be. I can never be content. I don't know what it is that keeps me from living for joy and gratitude that I'm alive. Is it the pain that never ceases to bother me? Is it the battle that I face with my nerves on the daily, yet I don't have to work to get money? Unless you count this as a trade of sorts, plying my wares, mystified why life is so unfair, not feeling sorry for myself. Just all those born into poverty with sickness and disease as a result of their parents' infidelity, one or the both of them. For it is an impossible task for a man to keep his pants on when he works away from home. But some guys turn to more monastic pursuits than drinking themselves to sleep when they have virgin urges that refuse to rest their ugly heads and die a natural death. It's usually the liquor or the drugs that drive us over the edge. We hate it when other people tell us how to live it. We do it to others all the time, all the same every day. In the choices that we make, we influence others to follow us subconsciously in the opinions and beliefs we share. We cause others to either follow us or react violently or silently, knowing the way we're talking wasn't the method in which they were raised. Or if it was, it isn't something that they ever wish to emulate in themselves or they're young. Can you pardon the sound of prestige for chasing after a fathom the stream that he himself isn't able to articulate to anyone out loud? Can he do his mama and papa proud if he does things they have forbade that are allowed by society and law of the land to pass by unnoticed like nighttime junkies and junks harboured safely in an ocean full of funk? There is way too much junk inside my head. I keep it hidden in a trunk under my bed. I asked her if she wanted to bunk with me after we wed. She said possibly, maybe that was the best guarantee she could offer by quivering lips. Can we ever rid ourselves of cognitive dissonance, or might we die like we can only assume the ancients ever did, living on their beliefs to the end of life's cruel bitter blows, that with a swift slice across our throats, like a goat killed for mercy, a sacrifice out for our so unworthy. No more animals need be led to the slaughterhouse, and all the animal lovers rejoice until you tell them this event requires humility and submission, grace and long-term division from family and friends who despise the cost we die for. If marriage is no longer institutionalized in a way our Heavenly Father might recognize as sacrosanct, will we allow society or our Creator to dictate our morality for us? There's a nagging voice at the back of my head telling me what is necessary for the prolonging of my fragile happiness. A tentative peace treaty is wrought between those of us on opposite sides. Some of us can't see we are working for the forces of evil without knowing it. A conspiracy of silence allows the meaning of corrupt to be twisted beyond belief. Though it's true, you made us caretakers of this planet. It's not burning plastic and refusing to recycle that's gonna send us into the gaping mouth of Gehenna. But when we stick our fingers in our ears, ignoring your continual warnings, that is when we set ourselves up for a letdown. Come the day we die, if we expect to be welcomed with open arms into your breathtakingly gorgeous paradise. My dreams are far from lucid. I don't know how I could have been so stupid, losing the plot again, falling head over heels for a girl I have no idea how to reach. This side of eternity, my life is a beach and a bed of roses. But I will slowly decompose before I get to tickle her on the toes and rub my nose against her noble visage. Why do we maintain our cold-hearted indifference? Did we delude ourselves to throwing tithes and offerings in the bucket, bowl, bag, or plate will guarantee our golden ticket to heaven no matter how simple we behave? Surely this hedonistic lifestyle is responsible for our lack of sleep. The fact that we find more torment in our relations with each other than harmony and peace. We lie to ourselves that we can't get out of it, that we're all a bunch of flies trapped in the same spider web. Yet I know nobody's perfect, but I know nobody's perfect, but you've provided a way of escape. Neither hell or heaven are inevitable conclusions for us. Neither is our destiny is fruit for the ones. Our future is determined by our thoughts, actions, and deeds, and whom we choose to call Lord and Master of our lives, the author of life, or his perverted creation, or who tried to take over his job. to no avail. The veil is being torn, the nail in the thorns he wore, bore the weight of all that easily entangles itself around our wiles. He only saved us from the consequences of our sins, being the conclusion of eternal separation from him, not from the contract we put out on ourselves to destroy our innocence when we align ourselves with the intent of the damned red dwarf who provokes us to swear allegiance to him with every idle word and wretched activity. The monster eating at my clothes, causing the need for sock donning. You don't merely postpone my tarnation, you eliminate the need for it altogether when I trust you in every circumstance that you know what's best for me, and you've got a perfect plan to take all my worry right out of the grip of my hands. I could buy you nations to express my affection, but you already own them, so I give you my life. I'm not calling it mine anymore. I'm your chosen. Well, what are we that you're mindful of us, that you even bear our existence for a moment's notion? What is this great love that's unceasing, ever increasing? Is the shortness of our time? Let us not waste any of it. We can't rewind or live this life more than once. So let's value those we love, because we can't bring them back to walk among us. Though you can reanimate them if you want, why would you ever choose to do so? It boggles my mind, because your home is so much more phantasmagorical than we could ever possibly imagine or articulate. So let me be your oracle, tell of your truth, related to this world we live in now. Forgive me for ever being dismissive of any idea that may be used for your glory. Clear out the confusion in our minds, replace it with clarity. Remember, we were designed to worship you exclusively. Cast out all allegiance from the sea of our brain pulse. Let us be drained totally of all that's in our essence to remain and displeasing to you. Use hyssop if you have to. Use pine tassel or anything that might restore this mortal core. The son of the soul, these daughters who toil in secret, wishing to be prized, lose our resentment's grip. Shake us out that vice, let us treat over nice. Yet not be afraid to wound with our words if we can be your bomb. Oh, so. Encapsulating extroverts within the confines of their self-designed or refined mess. Teach me patience when I lack it completely. Some people irritate and frustrate me, especially when they seem determined to be obstacles in the path of me getting my own way. I get excessively itchy feet for no good reason, always wanting to be somewhere other than where I am, never content or satisfied in my current situation. What's up with that? Why does it vexate me so? Why am I found tearing out my hair and piling it up in a little ball of worry and woe? I will tie myself in knots, trimming off my nails in nervousness. The anticipation is killing me, the fear that everything might go awry and be sabotaged by a sudden turn of events beyond the control of everyone but the king of the universe who never was replaced by the pretender try to usurp his throne. We don't have to feel abandoned, cold, hungry and alone. This bag of bones was made to give you glory, a vagabond, boldly telling of your redemption story. I'm never homeless so long as I find my abode in your celestial kingdom. I don't have to die without any love. In my heart there were so many people who want to use us and abuse us. Let us never be this kind of people that exploit others just to get our dollars out of them, satisfying a temporary urge for pleasure, battling restlessness and boredom, restless and completely drained of energy. What is it that makes me want to get out of bed in the morning? Can I ever quit my mind? What's the reason for complaining? Is it an act of treason? Not till at this time and season beat the living daylights telling me just because the majority are making excuses for their poor treatment of each other based on the seemingly miserable weather. The kids are rejoicing in the desert for the same reason, having rain bars because the skies are broken open and pour down blessings upon their mighty skins again. Do we have brains enough to handle the pressure of this world when it gets excessive? What if my circumstances lead to depressive thoughts? Will I allow myself to get caught up in them when use the door of escape that you have provided for me in my time of desperate need? You were never far out of reach. You were always within my grasp before I gasped for breath for the very last time. Let me turn to you to open up my blind eyes. I can only ever discover peace of mind in you. There is definitely no substitute for the love you offer us. A free gift only asking our hearts in exchange. How can I explain such an awesome love that doesn't make no sense to me? How could you have any romantic or caring feelings for being so despising, acting so foolishly and haphazardly? All I know is I'm glad it's you running the universe, not me, because I wouldn't be anywhere near as gracious or just or almost full as you if I was organising the show. Help us grow. I know you do. Let us see that it was always you guiding us through those battlefield years. Sometimes I'm actively resisting the voice of the enemy. Other times I'm not even trying. My eyes are spying a golden opportunity appearing as I'm peering through the keyhole at the desolation of my soul. We can all be clumsy and office. We would want the same measure of benefaction to be displayed towards us as we expect them to grant us. When others are pushing and shoving, jostling to get ahead of the pack, pushing in front of us, let us eat a slice of humble pie, not lose our wick over a little extension on our participation in a waiting game. Conscripted for a purgatory-like experience by sweating at the hours until our time and turn our eyes to bring us wing-like smiles again. I could be a mascot for your holiness. I am solely fixed on pleasing you above all other alternatives. There's a smokestack on your back. I am to hear your voice above the world's claptrap. When this world is so annoying, it's about to make me snap. You restore the calm to my spirit when I'm flustered by my lack of cheekbone luster. It's hard to muster up the courage to continue sometimes. I'm less like a panther, more like a timid, trembling little quacker. Will I still be filling the air with love songs to Jesus when I'm in my rocker? I'm not a knocker of others' achievements. I'm bereaving the life I used to live. Can we walk in generous spirited forgiveness? Be audacious enough to take risks for Christ's kingdom. Perhaps I will never be anything more than a little mockingbird soaring high across the cityscape. I have dust been my grimace and dissing remnants of the despicable life I left behind. Why do we struggle to find comfort in the souls we were assigned? It's you that defines my purpose, divine, sanctifying, blood cleansing, purifying, spirit aquifying. I am mystified by your nature. Here I seek to know you deeper. Wretch that I am, found comforted in your hand. What do I have to offer you other than the simple gifts of my heart and soul? How could I ever pay you back for all the lengths you went to prevent me being turned into a crispy treat for some baby gremlin to eat? You helped me cheat the system which crosses my enthusiasm to operate outside the boundaries of normal expected behaviour. Yet you were totally radical, using spit and mud to salve the vision and restore speaking abilities to those forced from birth to endure the lack of being able to develop a clear picture of the world around you outside the confines of your own mind, or having a beautiful thought but nowhere to express it using your own tongue, teeth or lips. Let me never lose my grip on your heavenly perspective, reflecting on the past as I stare at my loved one through glass. Could I make it through the storm when there's so many forces of wickedness attempting to defeat me? I have been trodden underfoot by a misery guts mentality. I let my heart drift to the strangest, most unfamiliar, bizarre alien landscapes in my brazen, hussy-like search for lasting love. Can we still keep loving each other till I die and day? Will I find someone to fondle my ears in my hours of age and greatness? I get excessively paranoid about upsetting my friends, mistaking busyness for wounded egos or dismissive contempt. We go through so many changes in our lives, from crawling on hands and knees to walking first with difficulty and ease. We draw in little pools everywhere we go to leave those tiny puddles for a more controlled flow of saliva, learning about what causes others joy and pain and how we can avoid contributing to their abasement by treating them with dignity even if the favour isn't returned. If I burn all the threads of my current connections, I would still have Jesus, though it may be an agonizing experience to endure. There's no disease for which you don't have the cure. Pull me out of the manure of my forlorn mindset, so petty-minded I can't allow anyone else to have happiness without me being involved or acting as the cause behind it. Let your truth never be blindsided by lies. A vision most splendid appeared at the bottom of my driveway when my head was suddenly upended. Even though I threw your love under a bus, we still had plenty to discuss. It was only in my worst nightmares that it would ever be over between us. I know I'm quite rambunctious, but I'd cease to function without your love. I can't find a reason to continue on this journey of life without you in my arms. I need you to know how desperately I desire you. Let your fire never leave the power of my heart. Renovate my mind, clear out all the junk on its shelves. I could fly in a rocket to the moon whenever I'm around you. If I hadn't stumbled across your path, if the good Lord hadn't guided us to unite, linking arms and dancing among the daisies, who would have imagined what kind of a life we might have had otherwise? I failed to recognize the tears in your eyes contain a serious reproach towards me, so I must make amends, help you adjust to this new life of broken promises and disappointments, reducing your expectations about me. Never knowing what kind of a person I was, how I could treat you so chilly and distant. In a hilly outcrop, we can find a way to make the world stop bothering us, though it will continue on unabated with or without our interaction. Finally, it seems you're waking up from your dreams, a decade spent in the shade. Can I compensate for the one I betrayed with a Judas-like kiss? You have no ownership of my heart, though a fragmentary part of it is entwined with yours. Hot whispers in my ear and the chase meeting of lip to cheek and meeting you greeting for the very first time, and the inevitable conclusion of departure language. If I cut you up so much inside to walk across the street, why didn't you come to wave your hand farewell? It's not like the last occasion when I was close to you that you had any hope of jumping above those trees and mountains with springs in your feet, like the possibly mythical gigantic kangaroo who days beyond there. Wake me up from my despondency. I've tasted forbidden fruit only in my dreams, but if you don't ever truly belong to the likes of I, Then my powers of persuasion being used to warrant the investigation of your whereabouts might be considered in the same category. There's no higher pedigree than you. They fight amongst themselves to claim a piece of this fragile soul yet to find release. It's almost an impossible task to know who I am behind my iron mask, or to define my identity outside the plethora of almost but not quite relationships I've had, and those reciprocated by her or she. The femme that owns my cardiac chain, her and she. The femme that owns my cardiac chambers, multiplied many times over as the years drag on their weary homespun heels. Heavenly being with all seeing eyes, waiting for us somewhere beyond the skies, remembering your urging to welcome in the alien among you. Gobblers and atheists and ignoramuses who aren't certain whether or not he exists, despite the overwhelming evidence to the contrary all around us. Why do people fear the great beyond if they don't believe there's anything waiting for them after the soul has been part of the vileness, esteeming corpses? There is a contradiction of sorts at work here. We find it impossible as humans not to make moral judgments or give value to one thing above another. Our whole social structure would fall apart without the order inherent in it. We all want to go on a fantastic voyage, but aren't sure how to begin it. Can we win where others only lost? Hope's light shimmers beyond the wintry frost. If I was a man made only of snow, would you love me more, knowing that I wasn't going to be there in any shape or form in the morrow? Melted into sorrowful puddles, pathetic in the easy effervescence, the evanescence of our daily deeds, not forgotten by our Lord, and must have blotted out our evidence of the lives we led in our own muddled, befuddled heads. Class and distinction cannot be bought, but in your arms there is extinction of all feudalistic pyramid structures. The only differentiation is between those who have died for the sake of the gospel and those who have just clung to their own faith without bothering to share it around. The former receive a martyr's crown, not the comparatively lazy latter, or those who simply never knew how much it mattered to get things right with you, until it was almost too late to turn around and say goodbye to those old dog vomit-like behavioral patterns. No longer influenced primarily by demons, the gravity of the situation grabs a hold of me, throttling me. I won't keep my tears bottled any longer, I shall distill them in your presence. For your eyes only I shall reveal all my bitterness which I've hugged to my heart for far too many years. These sorrowful sighs are not the result of crocodiles or onions tugging on my tear ducts, but genuine remorse seeking to be truly redeemed. You never relent displaying your favour to us. I'm done dwelling psychically in the tombs, chained up by the whiplash of experience, thanks to those who receive the gift of workable tongues in their heads, yet use them to curse instead of bless. And many people are out there right now, tossing and turning over decisions they wish they hadn't made. And how many of them are sleeping sane and peacefully, dreams undisturbed by mangy cats of noise, screeching in rejoicing and jubilation. Tires will squeak with mouse-like indication in their high-pitched refrain of the presence of grease spilled on the tarmac plain. And many broken hearts are there out in the world right now, convincing themselves that it's impossible for these blood-pumping organs to ever to be reassembled this side of heaven. Well, maybe that's the case, but not if my God has anything to do with it, because though another human may never love you quite the same way again, his love is available for all who are willing to run to him with open arms, receiving his unconditional delight in us. When we're wearied and tired, he fights for us, lighting us up when we lay down, smouldering wreckage from all the baggage we carry around. Flaming garbage causing such carnage inside ourselves, there has got to be a way out. And the exit is called Jesus, though some may scoff and declare us as high as their ganja or snuff. You've got the stuff that legends are made of, bringing the dead to life in our lifetime. We hold on to you beyond the stars. We hold on to your life, to you lifeline. More than just a charity designed to help the homeless, but a lasting hope giver. The developer of a hope beyond the stars for us, who bore the scars we should have worn, whose brow was torn by cruel, scalp-piercing thorns, the greatest rose that ever fell down from the heavens, blossoming amongst the stable yards, whose blue flame like love can melt the coldest heart. I reserve my phlegm not for your grace, but the contemptible one that tries to stab your sons and daughters without ceasing. You preserve my life between your palms, calmness comes when I surrender control. A pinch of Doberman mixed with a terrifying amount of handed bloods. There are some mysteries we find ourselves forced to live with, like what exactly was Paul's experience of heaven, and we will never know his pawn in the flesh. It wasn't a nagging wife, but may have been a demon or sickness, or possibly even a physical ailment or deformity. He urges us to resist the world's conformity, boasting only of the witnesses, and how God has strengthened the numbers of his army, boosting them by many grasping the concept of the freedom his blood brings us, amassing under his wings, crowing only about the achievement of the cross to pierce through a multitude of disbelieving hearts, transforming them into fully committed converts. I love Paul's sarcasm when addressing the faithful at Corinth in his second letter to them, how we fake apologizes for not being a burden to them. He speaks out against impurity, sexual immorality, lustful pleasure, parental neglect, quarreling, jealousy, anger, selfishness, slander, unsubstantiated maligning of character which cannot be proven, gossip, arrogance, and disorderly behaviour which could range from anything to drunkenness, to cussing people out and swinging your fist at them in public. Is it possible he separated impurity and immorality into different categories to differentiate between thought crimes and those slips in the mud where we cave into temptation and turn it into physical action? Not that we aren't also responsible for our thoughts, but it involves the power of agreement with the voices of life and death that linger at the doorway of our minds. I'm sure he is referring to unrighteous anger, not the godly kind, life which gets riled up and rallies against injustice, which hates to see people being used and abused, robbed of their freedom to choose for themselves, to be delivered from a life of preferring the same sex to the opposite when it comes to bedroom companions. Immorality includes all forms of sex before marriage outside God's covenant ideal of a union made in his sight between a man and a woman, both concerning adults who believe in the deity of all three members of the Trinity. In Christ our Lord dwells the fullness of the Godhead bodily. We do know pride comes before a false self-centeredness is an affliction that maligns us all. Being an unfit parent isn't going to send you to hell, but Jesus said it's better a millstone is hung around your neck if you cause a little one to stumble. You only have yourself to blame if you fail to approach people from a humble perspective. Would we still follow our Saviour, even if he isn't trending, even if things start going downhill for us the minute we pick up the cross and follow Jesus? Our yoke is easy and burden light, till we have to climb the first sets of century-old stairs, ascending and descending from this flight, messengers of hope, ever engaged in fighting for the ordinary plight of mammals who alight from camels glowing in the still of the night. Fear of vanity keeps me away from mirrors. It's insanity to think of all the cures suggested, hypothesized, yet never followed through on the experimental level. Extract all my distractions from me. How can you get off the ground if you never even taxi your wheels and leave the runway? No wonder possums aren't squealing when they sit under your wings, knowing it's a safe bet you won't bother moving in years. Too apathetic, your passion's gone on a bender, bud. How can you rise up your face on at the mud? Crazed beings of leisure clinging to their secret treasures, overlord of all the termite mans. Mama said to tape your lips shut. If you've got nothing valuable to contribute to this conversation, she says, I think you should stop. You were just dropping handfuls of discontent on our heads. Why can't you be more like your little sister? She tells herself in whispers. She is sure only your ears can perceive. She's got a good work ethic, and she doesn't make her papa grieve. By behaving like a misfit, readily questioning authority, querying everything I've been taught to believe outside the indisputable realm of logos and Remus precepts. Does obedience mean the sacrifice of independent thought? Some would think so, but I know that isn't true. Family is wings to assist your mind, wandering over hill and vale. Not a chain that locks you into ritualistic participation in tradition without ever being cognitive of exactly what it is you do, why it is you're doing it. like weasels spinning in loops round and round the saw, trapped in perpetual motion like an eternal human torch, scorched by the heat of your own arguments. Once they're dissected for the pathetic, compensated for my naturally, once they're dissected for the pathetic straw doll shambles they are, embracing the obscure and bizarre, dancing in the dark, shooting way off the mark, not compensated for my naturally ego-deflating blind spot. People may accuse us of trickery or flippancy, but let's not fritter away our days bothering about the bitter ways they react to our success. Remember that green-eyed monsters are only beneficial if it encourages us not to covet others' possessions, but to want their intimate connection with God for ourselves. Take away the trash can full of sods about sniffing rainbows. You can say I display frippery, that my pursuits are way too frivolous and trivial, but I need something entrancing to keep me going. At least that's what I kid myself about my dynastic preferences, pretentiousness, putting on airs and graces, smelling salts and perfume faces. Never can we stay safe in this earthly realm where evil lurks all around us, but the devil never bound us without our spoken permission. Though we may not have been fully cognitive of all we were getting ourselves into, the good Lord gave us all a conscience. After the long march I marched, heading straight to the golden arches the second I disembarked. Papa said they just stumbled across a second implausible location for Noah's Ark. It must be a source of frustration for those unabatingly dancing around in the dark, smashing their heads against brick walls if we weren't committed for the long haul. Way back when we were knee-high to a grasshopper, we sure are now. How do I destroy my ogre-like loathsome habits before they eat me alive? It's hard to stomach the loss of a woman more precious than life, but far worse for me would be burial without my salvation preserved at the point of departure from this earth. Quit telling myself I have no alternative. Click. Checking up on you every day is wrecking my public portrayal as a man of the cloth, as a bride with a veil not yet torn off and trodden in mud. Why must I munch your dust just 'cause in your eyes I don't quite measure up? What does that nervous smile mean anyway? Bold and brassy enough to turn my way. Why was holding a cup of coffee an impediment to using my lips for speech? Let's lie awake chewing cake on the beach. The only way I stay chaste is keeping my handgun lips locked up in the basket case of my skull-shaped shelled brain. Not exactly sure how I'm supposed to go about the business of reassembling my life and putting it back together again. Emerging from the wreckage of friendship, I thought you were somebody I could trust. I guess I mustn't have gotten to know you well enough first. Leave me by the shore, see if I do my chores willingly anymore. When you treat me like a piece of garbage, only useful to be flicked away at the soonest opportunity. Just taking up space best occupied by others. A mother's helping hands are offering a smidgen of understanding. I contemplate the meaning of life. I know it's more than making money, but do I feel cut out from this ministry? Not really. Inadequacy is screaming all up in my face again. It's a tragedy that I can't find the simplest of blessings to offer your way. What happened to our pleasant pasture lands of dreamy days? I would spare no expense to chase down drains your weary, teary cheek dreariness. There's no need to second guess me. You already know what I'm thinking before I enunciate my cerebral notions. Is it you that waits in the park for me? The ghost child of the dawn, once so familiar to this wild-eyed colonial boy. From outer space she came, invading my inner visions, casting away my inhibitions. No break for intermission between us, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the slimy deep. You bothered again by an onslaught of insecurities. I know you don't want to get caught red-handed with your pants down around your ankles, clutching at straws in a futile attempt to explain your behaviour. Slightly discombobulated with cheeks smeared all over with chocolate. Could you relate to the frustrating situation I find myself in? Always being crushed on by those I have no interest in, and being avoided like the plague by those damsels who dazzle me the most. It's a delicate balance to know which way to turn. Release a few sandbags of ballast so your hot air balloon can rise above the swooning crowd, soaring high above the clouds, as the moon-faced mongooses gather all around the mangled machines we once cherished, for mulching and milking sows and cows. Our actions find our folks reverting to rolled, sarcastic eyes and furrowed brows, as if it's going to make a difference whether they are mortified by our behaviour, so long as what we do is pleasing in the eyes of our Lord and Saviour. That's all that truly matters. We don't need their approval to remove all obstacles in our path, but we might require the use of their vertebrae when our burdens become far too heavy to drag along on our own. refusing to accept a cracked spine goes with the territory. I don't whine about the quality of my alcoholic beverages. Just the fact that the law of averages doesn't determine whether I will find a woman to marry, based as it is not on her hand being forced by foreboding imposing family members, but by the general coercion of a hormonally balanced huntress. Why are you in hot pursuit of a dream that's been removed so very far away from you that you could barely recognise if you passed it in the street, on the way to work out the complexities of existence? Why good women insist on chasing after bad boys, whether a mentally deranged individual can ever snag a sweet-toothed candy girl sitting on the end of his lollipop stick, if she has a full confession of all these peccadilloes, indiscretions, stumbling blocks and non-negotiables, and still wants to stick around? You know she's a keeper worth pursuing till the sky comes tumbling down upon her noggin. Wanted to bargain with me up at the top of this icy peak? Let me lick my secrets in your ears, my dear. I fear insincerity in anyone, especially those who doze in my honeymoon sweet. Love is not technology, so it never grows obsolete. Can we live without hateful backbiting thoughts? We fight each other tooth and nail till the last fish in the ocean becomes caught. I saw an exit sign still laying beyond my mind, an organ grinder keeping a finder, drunk on a blinder. Wind back the clock. We shouldn't determine errors in judgment by degrees. Our course celebrate is found when we run aground, painting the floor on both knees, taking other people's feelings into consideration if we erode our faithful foundations. How can we hope to ever own a leg to stand on when we hand on responsibility for running the world to the next generation? We have to be careful to teach them survival skills when we're up and going. I hate to think of my heart becoming dead. I don't want to see anybody being misled. I can try to put my troubles to bed, but then I see my problems waiting at the post when I open my bleary, sleepy, sand-sprinkled eyes again. Can I find strength in my mum in the wilderness of sleep-snatching, roof-patching, hole in my heart, patching calm, flicker, resolving cure for all our doldrums? Leave you acts, well, it's coming back to take me to his holy shack. No longer crying in the wilderness, nothing that smack can crack your jaws, leave you whacked out on the floor, watch you backing at the door, pleading for more of our attention than the momentary. You can find me off with the fairies dancing round the concrete jungle with the queen of the dairy. She tells me we have a barrel of woes which keep us on our toes, on my fingers and thumbs with buttery fingers around you. I get the jitters, slightly skittish, thinking how I wasn't kidded I had to deal with the whole kit and caboodle of surviving modern day relationships. Was I equipped to chase away the flies and bats, hungry for your fruit, nibbling bites as soon as it becomes ripe? I talk a lot of tripe, but if you see through all my heart, you can tell I'm not a gutter snipe. Though I plenty clutter in my mind, I never saw a catter who was kind of others. I wonder if a curious fan did not allow a minute with a fly from a mouth. Herbicide will flush the bugs right out, though we indulge in ribald conversations, meeting at an undisclosed location, cozying up to this clan, mosey on down to my 1K poke town. We can chase the morning away from our evenings and afternoons. We can watch the sun rise over the hills of this Looney Tunes landscape. She's got eyes at the back of her head. She looks just like she saw the dead come to life. She was the first at the tomb. She had this first in her womb. She just never knew what it was until she gazed to make it deep in the eye. Did you recognise the offer of angels? Did a sudden serenity come bursting over your face? Were those glazed irises automatically turned towards the heavens in gratitude? It's a moment of stillness that stirs your willingness to turn away from all that's better off, burned up upon re-entry into the atmosphere of his love. Beyond our planet's dim-eyed reach, you got snubbed and you felt creeped. Stalked a love that was able to submerge you in its soul-rapturing embrace. Not gung-ho or deceptive enough to admit even ever possessing any shortage of subtle roughness. Can I go with her without hurting or insulting those I love? I'm conscious of representing my family well when I dwell temporarily away from home. I feel like I have succeeded in driving a wedge between myself and my folks unintentionally. Even though they rally to my side when I dilly-dally, procrastinate like the world waits just for me. The lily of the valley and the rose of Sharon is my comforter right now. When I hear grace be used in a way that sounds like it's been brutalized and abused, yet I don't know how to articulate exactly what needs to change in this frustrating picture. Somewhere along the way I lost my innocence, starting to panic, wrestling with petty jealousy, wondering who it is exactly I wish to be. In Christ I claim my true identity, in His name all demons have to flee. Sickness, disease and poverty will ultimately be banished out of our sight. He never vanishes beyond the horizon setting sun. He takes pity on our plight, continually astonishing us with His miracles. It's not by power nor by might, but by His Spirit we survive. He is searching for His faithful called out ones. His legendary revolutionary daughters and sons prepare to make Him look even more phenomenal than He already is. We must clarify and ascertain to make sure we remain in His love always. We put way too much focus on ourselves and not enough on Him. The future doesn't have to be quite as grim as we might imagine. In quiet moments He speaks to me, shaking me loose from the toxic grip of the enemy. His claws secreting poison into my soul. Yet Jesus, You're the one who makes me whole and wholly, fully acceptable unto You. Daily I die the death of selfishness when I lack the desire to put others above myself. Help me find the joy in it. Conscious that You endured the cross for the sake of the love of us. You poured out cleansing crimson rivers to purify us. Like a diamond You were cutting and chipping, molding and remaking us. Fixing up what we have messed up, so taking our lives into our own hands, trying to be our own boss. We should care more and share what we got, because it was never ours to begin with. All talents and assets are merely on loan from God. We have to get our focus right. We put way too much credit on the work of our hands. You demand our attention, command and conquer our faithless hearts, make them less despicable and full of You. So many are willing to die for You, but they don't want to endure the rigmarole of living at their faith every day. You are my soul, hope in this life. Why is it so hard for me to express my faith beyond the box of my own mind? It isn't a source of inspiration for many of your followers. Some seem to slip into godly conversations with such ease. But I find there is a blockage between me and living other dreams for me to accomplish in Your own sweet time. Yet the quivers of my tongue, it isn't being held by a cat. Can we go deeper every time we chat? Can we move beyond the shallow end? Can we get a little more intricate and intimate? Don't let our love disintegrate into apathy or hate. My passions on clear display in splendor. You are arrayed. Ancient of days, we are held safe in Your firm grasp. The need out there is oh so great. We've no time to procrastinate. It fascinates me how much time we waste on others' ideas. We cut and paste into our own regular dialogue. So much of who we are is composites of what we collect around us. We are ever living to perpetuate lies or truth. I'm a cat on a hot tin roof, jumping up and down, unable to bear the heat of the summer star blazing bright. At noonday, not the middle of the night, like Granddad's fabled zombie resurrection, dealing with aggression, aiming to maintain my pleasant repose, not permitting myself to reveal to my persecutors that they have successfully penetrated my armor, creating a chink, increasing my vulnerability more than slightly. Can we take a holistic approach to all these cockroaches which encroach on our territory, stealing our joy and glory? Let's say to all of your guts for God, as I will play the card of carrying you home with my own soul, thoughts, and fairy bread. Treat you I will to the gentle melody of the rollicking hill, sending you swooning off to sleep. Tune your ear into the whispers of the wind, rushing through the leaves on the trees, the gaps between the holes, the branches and the branches and the leaves. Whoa. Well may you grieve for the lust of all you thought you knew. Will that secret remain buried along with you? The story of her face and who she was to you. Ever seeking substitutes? Really isn't all that cute when it comes to romance. Not to switching muddy gumboots for a pair of heels. Peals of laughter ringing out amongst the covered doors. I was spelling disaster or harmonious applause. The only joys of life we ever truly required were those secured firmly in the skull of our Messiah. Prior to engaging with our Creator, we found no fulfillment in empty desire. Today I have not sated my appetite to honor and appreciate The one who gave me life is indeed all the world was carved in his mind. Our future mapped out ahead of time. Don't panic when things don't go your way. God may make them come to pass in his own perfect occasion. I wasn't asking for trouble, but it always seemed to tag itself to my heels, wondering how I'm gonna deal with the next onslaught waiting just beyond this horizon. Some people don't truly long for change within the confines of their own selves. They just feel upset about getting caught and taught a better way of life, responding with indignance. How dare you tell me how to live, but when the rubber hits the road and the wheat and tears the divided layer, the first to scream seconds before they become charred remains. What did we ever gain but teardrops plopping down our cheeks on the heaven of the loss of our innocence? Remember delaying the arrival to the answers of our dreams doesn't mean denial of them in the slightest. My feet are the lightest since I put my trust in you, letting you fight my battles for me instead of doing all my struggles on my lonesome. You bring me peace and give me strength for the journey. I lean on you when the sky falls through. When I feel as though there are no rainbows in my sky, only stormy clouds of gloom. If I make some room for you in my heart, then my life is completely flipped upside down in the best way. I will wait for your return. The love I've yearned for all my days has finally come blazing into my joy-jaded view. Wake me up from my sleep, whisper your mysteries to me. I hurry to please you, eager to see you satisfied with me. Stay alert to the wiles of the enemy. Don't allow him any room to burst through the tiniest of gaps within my attitude. Lovers have faced worse hardships than we're experiencing right now. This very moment, we won't let our light get polluted. Keeping the flames of joy kindling within our hearts in the depths of mellow moods. It's hard to tell if you welcome their attention or despise it. I guess it depends on how much they leave to the imagination. God can intervene in our situation. If he wants us to be together, he will change the things about the both of us that need to be fixed first. If we both intend to wind up in glory land, if only the world could know our Savior's unfolding love. We have been swallowed up in our affections, allowing them to take us over completely, wrapped up in our view of beauty and truth. How little do you value yourself that you permit them to treat you like an inflatable doll created only for their temporary pleasure and gratification, and when they're done with you, they will find another mind that you whip and spit out. After playing games with you, taking games with yours, taking detours from the pleasant shores of the life we knew before the towers came crashing down on us. I'm pretty certain I prefer the real world version of you to the fantasy creation made entirely of pixels. Yet I have only ever caught a glimpse of you in pictures and stored away videos. So you have agreed to stare at me sipping cups of Joe over a cafe table. I don't see myself as being able to tear down the Tower of Babel between us. I guess I'm not with it, hip to the latest modern conveniences. Better off playing light and forgetting about technology altogether so long as I've got you. What reason do I have to panic or sink in despair like the Titanic after it struck an iceberg? Just like a captain, we often foolish thinking that God can mess with our plans. How much do we trust him? How much do we believe his power? His capacity to endure even beyond our last looking out. I don't blame you for moving on so fast under the next relationship on the last, cause I was never truly as involved as I might like to be in the tricky space and the continuum of clocks, locking in dates for my funeral as easy yet to ascertain for me and whether our wedding will appear out of the blue, engineered by God to fill the silence in this room and cause every door to open and all. Let us not become contemptuous of each other when faces become familiar and moods turn to tempestuous natures on us. You didn't think I'd ever leave you dying on the ocean line, did you? Drying out soaked through to your skin, closed damp with tears. It wasn't enough to cut you deep. No one you was creeping in your sleep, playing you like a deck of cards, and you thought it falling so hard it couldn't get up again without your help. Hey, you had some minuscule measure of respect for yourself. You wouldn't let your mama keep on crying when she saw the picture that was only good for frying. Stirring up the blue tongue lizard, poking its breath out our chimney stack. It's a tricky business attempting to figure you out when you seem to contradict yourself so frequently that it's almost as if you were doing it deliberately. Or maybe there's information you share when you're drunk that unintentionally conflicts with a sober version of you. Away from all the pops and bongs, who are you truly? Where do you belong? Do you even know when all the smoke is cleared and all your friends have disappeared like the remnants of the season that just passed? I know you will taste the sobriety before. With vigilance, you watch the phone on high alert. The views on religion is something to be desired or released when what you allow to such a rich personal area. In regards to your non-judgmental nature, I hope you always stay the same, though you may criticize others. Though you may criticize others, still you love to refer to all your friends. Like me, no paid unemployment isn't the big old $1 million position. It works for some folks, while the rest of us get buying benefits. The good Lord providing all that comes across the path, not just making up the difference when others don't come through for us. You have to watch your people die in order to wake up to your own mortality. Did I miss that opportunity to show you a greater love than any human can offer your way? Cause I was just like all those other guys, only wanting one thing from you, not valuing the soul within the body of the woman who makes me great. When you let me spin you around in circles on the dance floor, there's no contest, you win hands down. Making me content seems to be your mission in life. You don't have to strive that hard to get a smile out of your boy, you know. There's gold hidden in the snow, those snow fields. I thought I distracted all there was to yield. How do you regain your composure? I know it must have been shell-shocking at first when you woke up to what us dudes were capable of. It's not like the whole world, especially for you. Around the world, you got plenty legions of puppy dogs ready to do your will. Wishing they could jump in your lap for at least once every blue moon. I hadn't counted on the weather pattern, not conforming to my expectations. I would be like a certain bobsled team who showed up shivering, ill-prepared for the shifting seasons. How much tolerance would you possess for my quirks and eccentricities? Could you deal with the fact I never cooked that good and hardly ever done a load of my own laundry outside home? I know you own any dance hall you step on. You would be the belle of the ball, shaking and wiggling while every dude in the room drills, pulls, and goes Looney Tunes over you. But how would you deal with my incessant peppering of questions? Can you keep that grin on your chin, my love? You were quite right that a woman should be more valued for her face than her behind. But the point that you miss is one easily dismissed, that it's not your outside that matters so much as your inside. Keeping the end goal in sight. When there's not a soul to be found by your side, would it only be if I was the last dude on earth that you would run into my arms? How can I keep you away from the harm you bring upon yourself? You were careful how many details you give away. Make sure you maintain an air of mystery, though you reveal far more than any woman I know personally. Though your personality remains locked in fog, only sending out signals here and there of the innocent Peter Pan-like girl who never grew up, mixed with pure ramblings of a buttercup bent on a shape. A pipe cleaner forms out of a love heart all by itself. It's just the way it falls, the twisted in the perfect form. Those who cherish her will perish with her by the side. Will I just keep wanting her and never having until all the tears I can never possibly cry are sliding like a bobsled out of my eyes? If you were full of doctor, could they dump her here en route? Cause the other inhabitants of that planet might want to snip their fingers and toes in jealousy cause hers are far too cute. We do a lot of waiting and cues in these almost identical parallel universes we inhabit. I'm famished for your fabness. The girl in the mirror saw her pretty flock of birds and ran away from her duty of reflecting her face. The truth is never terrible, sometimes it's just hard to swallow. When you wake up in the morning light and you find out your head is hollow. I wonder why we wallow in the muddy pools of our misery. Why we allow the smiles to get robbed off our faces by the tragedies of life. Permit enough us to put us down, rubbish just to up us in the system pipes. How much tribe do we have to bear? I do declare a holiday for everyone who considers themselves to be hard done by. And so we see the world erupting chaos as a result. We like to say it's anybody's fault, but that person staring back at us as we gaze out upon the water. If I was dead, would you care more about my welfare? How many payments do we have to make it to your bank account before you reveal yourself? I'm not that good at being open and honest with you and mine. Rub the sleepy sand from your tired eyes. Understand you were born for a reason and a purpose. This your time and season, was it an act of treason? to not divulge the tremendous in you. One so stupendous, surely yes, no substitute the side of heaven. I hate to be the cause for your complaints. It's hard when I'm around you to exercise any kind of restraint. Can I discover a life beyond being plagued by all these demons of lust, which corrode any sense of trust between us? We're acting like a couple before we said our wedding vows, behaving as if we've already known each other half a lifetime. Can you permit me to assume the role of the voice of God speaking into your life, or will you reject it based on its vessel? Thinking to yourself that something doesn't quite add up. Not certain if you should pull back the curtains or shut them when I come preambulating up your driveway. If you remove your shoes, does it make you feel closer to what for its maker? You're touching creation, not your mother, don't get it twisted. You are not the founder of the cosmos, and never is anything around you unless it be his physical appearance, anything but evidence of his power manifest amongst us. What in the name of all that is good and holy are you trying to do to me? Saying that we must go our separate ways. Why do we isolate ourselves on tiny little islands of cultural enclaves? Spreading suspicion, thriving on derision. Decisions made out of division's crucible. Why does my mouth turn into a chamber pot when I hang around you too much? Perhaps you might conversely influence me to tread more closely in step with the light, if I could but hold you tight. God knows we've all acted like Hosea's wife at times in our lives. Yet he can redeem you and make you a root. Jehovah can make you his daughter, ain't that the truth? He is calling you back just to dance like a child in his arms again. When did you learn to assume the worst with every encounter you have with the opposite gender? What caused this uncertainty in your approach? Fearful that they only want one thing with you, and it isn't to dissect the contents of your head. Could you consider for a minute someone could love you for something other than your physical assets, friend? Why do you cheapen yourself so easily? Why can't you see you don't have to settle for less than God's best for you? All of us are guilty of harlotry. Like sheep we have gone astray and kissed the enemy's lips, dipped our fingers in the ashtray. Stabbed out our hopes like cigarettes, ground into the pavement. Allowed those tiny sparks to die inside us. But what if he came along and breathed and suddenly to life? What if he restored the fire in you, resuscitating you, giving your dreams a chance to spread their wings and fly? Can you see these four square walls? Inevitably, all you will ever experience. You can graduate from that degrading place where you struggle to rise your face above the dirty ground. Don't curse the earth, it's not to blame for the circumstances of your birth. Neither is your maker, it's the consequences of our first human parents' sin. We find ourselves living now, right now. Don't let your life get stamped out. Even before you were in Pampers, there was a universe. Make it ready to bake some damper for your pangs. Watch them cease automatically. Driving less erratically. Knowing you were free causes you to breathe a deep sigh of relief. Who comforts you in your time of grief? Who encompasses you with his healing wings? Who is able to accomplish exceedingly and abundantly above all that we may ask or think? Who is like him in all the galaxy, this milky cluster of stars? He can heal your bumps and bruises, glue together all your broken bones, reanimate your dead body when it lies 6 feet underground. The lust are found again in him. The goats return to sheep form. He doesn't need you running around dressed up in ties and uniforms. He doesn't travel by unicorn. You need him even if you don't care to admit it. Even if you only know he is capable of causing miracles that happen and keeping you alive, speeding up your recovery from an accident. In your discovery of him, you will find everything you're looking for in this life. Quit hunting him down in the wrong place. You can think yourself intelligent, but if you don't know him, then you still need to learn the most important knowledge in the universe. 'Cause you sure can't save your own soul. And what about when this universe is folded into tiny little squares many times over, making origami of the map of the world? If it all comes burning into an ash heap, what then? Will you be prepared to answer all the questions of those pitiful few who remain still? free then? Why did you push away everyone who loved you from the start? I know it's hard being ordered around, but sometimes it's for your good. You know your mama just wants to protect you from those lustful lies that only want to use and abuse you. It's a reputation on the line as well. She is for to be guilty by association, even though God holds us responsible for our own individual sin alone. I wouldn't disown you if you started to act nuts over the dramas of the world. 'Cause I respond the same way when I don't know what to say, and more of my people keep getting slain randomly or organized type of way. Somebody has to die before their time, and it just doesn't make any kind of logical sense to me. And we're supposed to be living in countries of peace. We are not continually squabbling disorganized rabble within our own borders. Rabbits don't seem to have these issues. You never see them kicking each other over whose burrow belongs to whom. And hermit crabs don't grab each other's shells and check them list of the occupants. Why is it we treat each other so cold and cruel? I don't want to enter the Sandman's lagoon without solving any conflict before I shut my lids down for the night. Nor do I wish to enter God's house while I'm engaged in battle on the home front, war left unresolved. True grace doesn't say, if you take these you'll get fat, and I won't, so I'll be happy. Your loving kindness is better than life. I'm wondering why the pain of losing love is still taking its toll on me. I can't watch the baby birds bathing in their public stone-crafted facilities anymore, but I can still hear their sweet song at the corner of my ears. You told me that God said we were made for each other, but I guess he changed his mind, 'cause by the time we got the chance to meet face to face, you had switched up your plans on me. So much for leaving my country behind and starting a brand new life with you. I didn't think that my journey would ever lead me back here to this God-resplendent country. Some of us would make up the Earth's population, inhabit or claim as their own right now. Will my descendants live similar lives to their ancestors? Will I be left to fester forever in the shadowlands of your heart? She doesn't want you to know all the nitty-gritty details of her existence. She just wants you to show her love in the form of filthy lucre. Cash in hand is the only language her affection never speaks. She will never call you boss or daddy. Oh, she is running her own business, don't you know? She's in charge of her own life and won't be told how to conduct herself in private or public. I pray the influence of God brings out the gold in her. It's been way too long since I proved my love. I get up to the water trough, but this horse stops just short of gulping it up. Afraid there's flies or poison buried in the mix. Why does my conscience attack me whenever my fingers go fishing in my wallet for a water catch to dispense into a hungry mouth? I can't imagine ever calling her mine outside of my dreams. I wouldn't know what to do with her anyway if I had her in my arms. She's like a cake topped with cherries and cream. It's hard to fake the intensity of her personality, sparkling like champagne. She's a little firecracker, making me want to go dancing in the rain so I can cuddle her close and be a warm blanket. She's easy to remember, but impossible to forget. I try to resist fighting my feelings for her, but now I forfeit. She totally owns my heart and soul, and no woman alive can never hold a candle to her beauty. She's such a cutie pie. I can't wait until the day arrives when she finally looks me in the eyes and says she loves me enough to die right by my side. I hope we can be groom and bride, and when I irritate her, she will just let it slide. If I'm faithful, she's got every right to run away. But why would I ever want to when she is such a babe, the one I crave? I'm not going to allow anything or anybody to come between us, including myself. I don't want her to push me away, 'cause she's got way too many boys knocking on the door wanting her to come out and play. Is it only when I pay I can keep her love locked out the side of their prying eyes? What is she gonna do to comfort my wounded heart when it's being torn apart by so many other feisty ladies? I scare myself how easily I fall in love, how eager I am to be trapped inside the cage of her arms. I don't ever want to be liberated from her. I would rather live my own life than her company. Is she ever likely to give me a baby? Can I call her something other than my part-time casual, no strings attached lady? Am I way too clingy for her? Why does she keep on hanging on in the hope that I'll cave into her demands and cough up that cash? She knows the less hard she tries, the more likely I am to acquiesce. Our relationship thrives on neglect. Look at me, the little dog under the table of my mistress, eager to place, panting after her. I despise my patheticness, yet at the same time I can't see any other way I can hold her in my arms. So I keep praying that each day draws her nearer to my body, that she will be attractive like a magnet. Is this the best my life can possibly come up with? I want to be the one that strokes her curly black hair and chases away her despair. I want to be married to her so I can watch her model her brand new underwear in front of me. I want to be teased and surprised by her. I wanted to come up behind me sneakily and cover my eyes with her hands, saying, "Guess who?" whispering seductively in the ear of her boot. I find it hard to imagine life before I met her. Once my vision was locked on hers, I could never forget her, even if I tried. Would she play the grieving widow, laying flowers on my coffin if I died, getting a heart attack in the middle of making love or watching a particularly upsetting episode of one of our favorite soap operas? I hope I'm not that much of a drama king. Will she finish my songs for me? If I cock it in the middle of writing one of them, will I be there to hold her hair when she's vomiting over the Johnny Ball, coughing up them like petals and stem, my components of a flower? We could be a part of each other's lives now. Whether or not she would swear as much before a mountie or a judge in courtrooms, we can be each other's secret heart. Or we can take it public, boldly displaying our trust for all the world to see she is part of me now. I don't know how I will get through this life without God. I hope that she can be a member of my squad. Will I have to prod her together to wake up, or is she an early bird that rises with the cows at the crack of dawn before the cockle and the worm? I know I couldn't even choose between serving her breakfast and worshiping forever at the feet of Jesus and loving her. I display my affection for him and vice versa. We love each other in the best way when we choose to do what's pleasing in the sight of Yahweh over what is merely pleasing the majority of living like crowds. I don't have to meditate in a shrine for a month or 6 in order to find my inner peace. I've got the Holy Spirit dwelling in me. I want her to have that same fire inside her. I wish for her to come to a place where she doesn't need her likes or comments to feel esteemed in herself. She's confident enough in who Christ has created her to be that she doesn't require the approval of humans in order to find herself desirable in the eyes of others. I hope she knows she's cherished by God. I'd hate to perish without kissing her, but if that happens, I trust his plans. I just don't want her to slip out of my hands, 'cause some other dude was faster at meeting her needs. Unlike me, slow to act when I had opportunity. What kind of friend am I not to be there for her on a sick and rainy day? Though I think I'm long overdue for payback from her. Lord, help me to be patient. I think if I am careful to collect my thoughts, I will find within these mental chronicles plenty of evidence to suggest that you've already recompensed me many times over for any kindness I've shown to others. I'm sorry for those times when I didn't represent you adequately. What does my life equate to if I have nobody but you to keep me company? It's not only in human relationships that I find fulfillment, but in a love affair. Peace out.